And the thing that I don't even know to pray for, it begins to whisper in my ear. Now understand that the psalmist realized that he needed help if he was going to make it to his destination. Now because he did not know exactly where his enemy was, all he did was just say, Lord, be my help. Now can I say something to you? Now what that really is a preventive prayer. What they're saying is that nothing has transpired yet, but because it could transpire, what I want is, Lord, in the event that I need you, I want you to provide assistance. Isaiah 59 said it like this: when the enemy comes in like a flood, that the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard, and everything that looked like it was about to take me down, everything that looked like it was about to disqualify me, everything that would have made me where I didn't even qualify, God took those things with his spiritual eraser and erased those things where they had no effect over me whatsoever. Because the psalmist, he understood that there had to be action, number one. And number two, he had to make sure that those actions ascended. It had to go to the next level. Tell somebody, step your game up, step your game up. As we do this Christian walk, we got to step it up a little bit. So the actions ought to ascend, but not only should the actions ascend, but the actions ought to ascend so that they're acknowledging that we have assistance. Now, the part about it, and this is the hint I was really trying to get you, and if you don't get nothing else, I promise this will help you get through the rest of your week. But understand that your actions ought to ascend towards acknowledging that our assistance comes from the Lord. In other words, our assistance comes from the Almighty. Because understand this much, that the psalmist was not, I don't believe, as I look at this thing again, I don't believe the psalmist was talking about a literal hill. Okay, but I believe what the psalmist was doing is that the psalmist was talking about a metaphoric hill. Yeah. See, Deacon Cambridge, I don't know if he was looking at the hills, Hills, or if he was looking at his heels, Heels. Yeah, because see, Matthew said that heaven is his throne room and that the earth is his footstool. So I don't know if the psalmist was looking at the geographic hill, but was he looking at the God of the hill? But either way, he said, I'm looking and I understand where my assistance comes from. It comes from the Almighty. Anybody know it? The Almighty. I'm talking about Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. Anybody know I'm talking about Jehovah Nisi, the God of battle? I'm talking about Jehovah Shalom, God who gives you peace. I'm talking about El Shaddai, that more than enough God. I'm talking about Jehovah Sikkenu, God our righteousness. Does anybody know who he is? That's your hint today. Is understanding all of your assistance, as long as you provide action and as you acknowledge him and make sure that your actions ascend. In other words, it's time to go to another level. See, we've been worried too long about all of those that we thought had the ability to stop us from getting where God wants us to be. But I stopped by today to tell y'all, don't give them that much power over you. Stop looking at your current situation thinking that you can handle it on your own. But you need to learn how to turn it over to the Lord. And I believe I've got some witnesses here that can testify that I turned it over to the Lord. And when I turned it over to him, I stopped worrying about it. He did he will work things out. Have I got a witness in here? Is anybody here that got the testimony of that problem that I had? And I couldn't sing the song. The more I prayed, and the more I prayed, I kept getting deeper in, I kept getting deeper involved. But when I turned it over to the Lord, then he did. He will work things out. Ooh, is there anybody here that'll testify that I couldn't handle it on my own? The more I tried, and the more I tried, kept going deeper. Yeah, tried it on my own, but didn't have enough money. Tried it on my own, but didn't have enough talk game. Have I got a witness in here? But you know what I learned? I learned to keep looking to the hills. And the more I looked, that I looked to the hills, I discovered that all my help, it come from the Lord. Have I got a witness in here? Is there anybody here that'll testify and say, Kirklin, I know where my help come from. My help come from, it come from the Lord. Have I got a witness in here? It's one more hill that I looked at, and when I looked at it, I saw my help. Have I got a witness in here? One Friday night on a hill called Calvary. Anybody know anything about that hill? One Friday night on a hill called Calvary. The Bible says he died. I said, didn't he die? He died till nature got confused. He died till news got to the cemetery. He died till there was no longer need for a curtain. He died, but because he died, he now lives. And because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know who holds a future, and life is worth the living just because he lives. Is there anybody here that's made up your mind? Come what may, from day to day, he will take care of everything in my life. Somebody say yeah, say yeah, say yeah, say yeah, 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 yeah. Is there anybody here that'll testify that one of these mornings, and it won't be long, you're going to look for me, ooh, and I'll be going up to glory to sing and shout. Nobody, tell your neighbor, say nobody, 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 tell nobody, 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 nobody will be able to put me out. Yeah, 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 yeah. Been good to me. Has he been good to anybody else? Has he been good to you? You ought to just walk in place and say, he's been good to me. I didn't deserve it, but he's been good to me. I should have been given up on. I should have been disqualified, but he's been good to me. Say yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah. Been good to me. Has he been good? Don't fool me. Been good to me. Yeah, yeah. Been good to me. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, my actions are going to ascend to acknowledging that my assistance comes from the Almighty. Say it, 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 yeah! Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I gotta testify. There was a moment I wasn't always looking in the right place. There were moments that I looked in the wrong place, and I received my just reward. Every time I messed up, he had to chasten me. Have I got a witness in here? But can I tell you something? God's affliction is not abuse. Have I got a witness in here? It was good that I was afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes. And now I'm looking higher. Is there anybody here that'll say, I'm going to look higher? I'm going to look higher. I'm going to look higher to the hills from which cometh my help. Oh, my help. Oh,